pregnant?" Heather exclaimed. "I'm sorry." She looked around to make sure no one was nearby to hear the news. It should be passed around before Edgar heard it. "Congratulations." "I need to have a doctor visit my home, but Priscilla is certain I am," Alessandra said.
"You are. You don't have to prepare yourself for disappointment because you are pregnant. I know a pregnant woman when I see one. I was once pregnant. You are with child,"
Priscilla said for the last time. "This is good news. It's a good decision to leave instead of staying with these women. I will join you. I cannot wait to see Edgar's reaction. The two of you will make excellent parents." Excuse me, I need to have my carriage brought around," Heather said, leaving the two momentarily to inform a servant she was ready to leave and needed her carriage.
"Duchess!"
Caleb called when the carriage stopped by the steps. He was here alone to guard her today.
"It is early. Did something happen?"
He side-eyed Priscilla. The woman was nothing but bad news. It was odd to see her holding Alessandra's bag. "I am not feeling well. Caleb, please send for a doctor to meet us at home."
"Are you sick?"
Caleb panicked, eyeing her from head to toe. Why did he have such bad luck with her being sick when it was his turn to guard her? "Caleb, please do not worry. I will tell you when we get home. Priscilla is offering her carriage to be sent for the doctor, and she will ride home with us. Please pass the message to the doctor that this is urgent." "Caleb." Alessandra called his name again as he had not moved. When they all heard she was pregnant, they would run around like chickens with their heads cut off.
"You're scaring me, Duchess. Give me a moment."
Caleb left to do as he was told. He moved quickly to not leave Alessandra alone with Edgar's mother. Priscilla watched the man who looked similar to the one who had come with Edgar to take her to his dungeon. She knew they were twins, and she could tell the difference between the two, but she was still uncomfortable around Caleb. "Careful," Priscilla warned Alessandra, who was trying to get into the carriage by herself. I am perfectly capable of getting in the carriage without hurting myself. I did it this morning," Alessandra said, already feeling like she and the word careful would become enemies in the next few weeks. Her overprotective husband would be the one to say it the most, with Alfred shortly behind.
"I am just looking out for you. There is still a bit of snow on the ground, so it will be slippery, and those heels you are wearing won't be helpful, even if they are short. You need to buy comfortable shoes. The person who made mine is still in business. I can give you the name. The heavier you get, the more comfortable clothes and shoes you will need. You will need to start having bigger dresses made now," Priscilla said, entering the carriage after Alessandra was seated. "There is much to do, from having clothes to fit you as the baby grows, to picking out which room you want as the child's bedroom, or just for playing, buying clothes, toys, looking for a good nanny early, and more. What would you do without me?" "Oh." Priscilla took a deep breath after she exhausted herself from talking. It is a lot to be done on such short notice, Alessandra realized. She played with her fingers as she thought about how busy her life will become now. It seemed like a long time before a baby would be here in her arms, but she heard time goes by quickly when children are involved. Priscilla regretted mentioning the things Alessandra needed to prepare for when they had not seen the doctor or told Edgar the news. "Don't think about those for a while. You have plenty of people around you to take care of them. If I am allowed to, I will take care of the clothes. I can't let you dress my grandchild in any old thing."
Alessandra didn't take offense to what Priscilla said and laughed. "If you wish," she replied. "I would love for my children to have a grandmother to spoil them." Priscilla hesitated for a moment, but knowing what Alessandra was thinking, she said,
"I knew your mother. We were married to noblemen, so it was inevitable we would run into each other. She married a few years after I had gotten married to Edmund. You look just like your mother." "Thank goodness,"
she added, as Alessandra's beauty might be different if she looked like her father. "Did the two of you get along?" Alessandra asked.
"We were cordial with each other, but never friends. Both with husbands, we found it irritating from time to time. I could tell life as a baroness bored her. She was always looking out a window like she craved to be elsewhere. Maybe she thought life with your father would have been exciting, but she quickly learned it was not. I felt the same during the first year of my marriage. She was an interesting woman,"
Priscilla said, looking out the carriage window. "From everyone's tales, it seems that she was," Alessandra replied, as she had no tales of her mother.
"As mothers, we make a lot of mistakes our children will never understand. Not even when you have your children. After years of pleasing others, we seek a moment to be alone, and it, unfortunately, means leaving our children behind. I don't know what happened with Melanie, but I understand," said Priscilla.
"Unfortunately, I am past the point of trying to understand. But thank you for telling me a bit about her. Does that mean you would understand Rose's—"
"Of course not." Priscilla quickly ended that thought. "That woman is simply controlling and the devil in disguise. There is no understanding of her, even if someone were to put her thoughts in a book for me to read. My day is ruined just hearing her name. If you think of your mother as I think of Rose, then you should never forgive your mother."
"Oh, how quickly your views changed," Alessandra chuckled. Surprisingly, Priscilla did a good job at taking her mind off of worrying about the future with her child.
"Only because Rose is involved. During my divorce, it seemed like I was separating from her instead of Edmund. I received a letter that she wanted back everything she ever gave to me. She only gave me one thing, which was her son, and I was already giving him back. You must not let her find out I am helping you. She will make your life hell. She can get all the other Collins to pester you while she sits back like an angel."
Priscilla shook her head. "There's going to be too much in my life in the next few months for me to tiptoe around to avoid Rose finding out you are near. Luckily, no one gets to come through the gates without our permission," Alessandra replied. Alessandra didn't have to concern herself with family drama, as Edgar would not let anyone get near her. While she prepared to be a mother, everyone should be preparing for the new level of anger Edgar would have for anyone trying to stress her during this time.
"Are you looking for more business partners?"
Alfred asked, carefully placing a cup of coffee on Edgar's desk. He avoided the papers with names of noblemen and well-known businessmen.
"No, I am just checking through again." We have not found who took all those young women, and I don't want to miss out on anyone. Why are you bringing me coffee, Alfred? Must we go through this again?
Edgar looked up at Alfred. After 2 weeks of sulking and acting like his life was over, Alfred was once again the butler, but the deal was that he could not serve Edgar.
I brought you coffee as a family member, not as a butler. I have not broken our deal, Alfred replied. You always have an answer for everything, don't you?
Edgar gave up.
Why did you let that in?
Edgar looked at the white cat stretched out on a chair.
It won't be long before it messes with my papers. It slipped inside when I opened the door. You should be glad it is not the black one. He is the true troublemaker. I will take it back with me on my way out. It is nearing time for Sally to feed them. They are, like you, missing the Duchess when she leaves. You should count yourself lucky the cats like you. Some of the servants say it is hard to get the cats to like them,
Alfred said, watching the white devil scratch at the chair. Blessing and Curse were nothing like what they were as kittens. They only behaved around 3 people, Alessandra, Alfred, and Edgar. Sally was someone they liked, but she had to bear with their bites from time to time.
How much longer until Alessandra returns?
Edgar asked, looking at the large clock. She'd been gone for more than an hour.
I believe it is 5 hours more until she returns. Do you plan to keep yourself lost in work until she returns? I know searching for these girls is important, but you should take a break. Not only when the Duchess is not present. Tobias should punish the other noblemen who have not come forward to help with the search,
Alfred said, as the others not helping meant more work for Edgar.
I don't need anyone to join me. I don't trust any of them. I will be visiting Earl's home tomorrow. He has a new cigar business and invited men to test them out. I'm going to get a look around at the men there. One of them might be our culprit,
said Edgar. A knock at the door interrupted the conversation.
Come in,
Alfred answered as he walked to the door. It was rare for anyone to come knocking unless there was an important message.
Sally? Looking for Blessing? Honestly, Edgar, it is time to pick another name for the cat.
No, the Duchess has returned, and she is here with the guest. She sent for a doctor, and the Duke must come down to the drawing room right now.
Sally relayed the message. Edgar's expression reminded her of how she felt when Alessandra returned early and spoke about a doctor. The expression would quickly change the moment he laid eyes on who Alessandra brought home with her. Sally and Alfred stepped to the side to let Edgar pass by. Before Alfred could follow, Sally tapped his arm to tell him who the guest was.
Priscilla is here. She came in the carriage with Alessandra,
she whispered. No one could forget the unfortunate event that involved Alfred and Priscilla. Before Alfred would go downstairs, Sally had to warn him. Alfred didn't like the sound of Priscilla being here and Alessandra needing a doctor.
Thank you for warning me. Tell the other maids to stay clear of the drawing room. Don't go too far in case Alessandra needs you. I must go quickly before mother and son start to argue.
Meanwhile, Edgar hurried down the stairs in fear something had happened to Alessandra while she was away. Nothing had happened at the gatherings she attended so far, but there was always that one gathering waiting to ruin the peace.
Alessandra, why are you here?
Edgar frowned when he entered the drawing room and found his mother sitting beside Alessandra. Alessandra was the type of person to bring home all sorts of things she found interesting during her trips out of the house. Never did he think she would bring his mother. He wished to know why Priscilla was here, but first, Edgar went to Alessandra's side to inspect her body for wounds. If someone threw something at her again, he would go through with removing their hands. "I have no wounds, Edgar," Alessandra said so he could stop searching her. Now that Edgar was here, her excitement quickly grew, and with it, the plan she made on her way back home to break the news to Edgar went right out of her thoughts. "Your mother is here because she helped me today. I wasn't feeling well, and she took care of me."
Was she the one to make you sick?
Edgar asked.
How would that be possible?
Priscilla glared at her son. He would soon eat his words once he learned how she had helped Alessandra. "No, Edgar. She would not have come here with me if she did. I was vomiting, and your mother said I might be pregnant. That is why I sent for a doctor to confirm it, but I have not bled for a while now, so it is true. I will need medicine to help with how uneasy I am feeling." "Edgar?" Alessandra snapped her fingers in front of his face. "Please do not be broken when we are finally having a child."
"You are pregnant?" Alfred exclaimed. "Since—" "Hush, you old fool. This is my moment,"
Edgar snapped before Alfred could be the one to ask questions. Edgar touched Alessandra's stomach, where new life was slowly growing. Nothing about her looked different, but something about their family was very much different.
"It is about time they make their presence known."
"They?" Alessandra frowned. There was no way to know how many babies she was carrying, but the norm was one. "You mean they as in one, right? Since we have to wait to know the gender?"
"You think your wonderful husband only put one child in there? How dare you underestimate my skills?"
Edgar replied, continuing to rub her stomach gently to not cause her any pain. Priscilla wanted to wash out her ears with water to forget what Edgar said. She didn't want to hear about him putting babies anywhere. She wanted to ask who raised him, but then she looked at Alfred, patiently waiting for his chance to ask questions. She wouldn't put it past him to start crying as if he were the father. "You know, I am starting to be concerned about the things this baby will hear," Alessandra muttered. Edgar's mouth never cared who was around. Whatever was on his mind, he would say it. "Alfred, you can ignore Edgar and come here. I am in need of—" "Edgar?" Alessandra quickly tapped his shoulder. "I think Alfred is going to faint."
"The carpet in here will provide him with a safe landing,"
Edgar replied, more interested in touching her stomach than catching Alfred. In the end, Alfred assured Alessandra that he was not going to faint. He did not want to miss hearing how Alessandra found out she was pregnant and what the doctor would say. When the doctor finally arrived, Alessandra and Edgar left Priscilla and Alfred alone while they went into a room for Alessandra to be inspected. Alfred and Priscilla sat in different chairs, which unfortunately made them have to face each other. Priscilla avoided looking at Alfred and instead looked around the room they were in. When Edgar released her a month ago, she had not spoken to Alfred. An apology was probably suited now, but Priscilla did not know where to start, so she kept quiet.
"There are plenty of items from Edgar's youth in storage at your home. You should have the maids organize them to see what is good and send them here. There must be a few sentimental things Edgar can pass down to his children or he can look back on."
Alfred spoke up first.
Very well,
Priscilla replied, having no issue with bringing what belonged to Edgar.
Thank you for helping the Duchess today.
Alfred thanked Priscilla, as pregnancy might not have entered Alessandra's mind if Priscilla was not pregnant.
Must you always be so nice? You almost died a month ago because of someone who worked for me,
Priscilla said, turning to look at Alfred.
You shouldn't be speaking to me so casually right now.
I shouldn't, but I want those things from Edgar's childhood. The books and all, even if they smell old. I will find the exact book to replace and put it in the child's room. Back then I was angry with you, even though I expected you would try to kill me. More than a month has gone by and a child is coming into this world. The fact that it is Edgar's child means I will be stressed enough. I don't have time to be angry with you,
Alfred honestly replied. At his age, he did not need to hold on to grudges and seek out revenge. Alfred did not plan to get back at Priscilla by trying to kill her. So when he looked at her, he felt nothing. As always, he hoped Edgar and Priscilla could fix their relationship. It was all he ever wanted, and it seemed there was hope.
Edgar by himself was a headache, so you better hope it is not more than one in her stomach. Then again, it will be your headache to deal with, so why should I care?
Priscilla stated, since Edgar was not pleased with her presence and failed to properly acknowledge her.
Why am I still here?
She wondered out loud. She had better things to do than sit here uncomfortably awaiting news of Alessandra's pregnancy. You should speak with the Duchess before you go. She'll be disappointed if you leave without a goodbye. If my presence bothers you, I shall take my leave. I can hear the good news later. Alfred started to stand up.
You can stay. Edgar will paint me as the villain if you leave. He already accused me of getting his wife sick when he is a part of the reason she is sick. I never thought there would be a day he would have children. So far, he is doing better than his father,
Priscilla said, because as far as she knew, Edgar was a faithful husband. There was gossip, but she could tell it was all lies. The women who gossiped about Edgar were similar to the type of women Priscilla tried introducing to Edgar, but he turned them down. If lies were to be created, the least the people who started the rumors could do was create a more believable woman for Edgar to cheat with. Some of the people in the town found Edgar and Alessandra's love to be too perfect for their marriage to be full of happiness and not have any drama, so they tried to look around for what the couple was hiding. Priscilla was tired of the questions fools would ask her, when it was obvious she knew nothing about Edgar's marriage and did not care to know. Am I late? Heather rushed to the drawing room. My carriage wheel got stuck. They are with the doctor right now. I will get some drinks and snacks for the two of you, Alfred said, getting up from his seat. There was nothing more to say to Priscilla, and his presence was making her uncomfortable. It would be awkward to sit near someone you tried to kill, no matter how much time passed. Edgar. Alfred stopped before he could leave the drawing room.
Where are you going? The doctor is packing up while Alessandra is changing out of her dress to rest. She is pregnant,
Edgar confirmed. Congratulations to Collins, Heather said, excited for the married couple. She was aware of their want for a baby.
Thank you. You can see her now if you wish. She is in our bedroom. You can go too.
Edgar rolled his eyes at Alfred. Alfred was like a child eagerly waiting for their parent to let them open a present. I will be quick to not bother her, Heather replied, then left the drawing room with Alfred. Only mother and son remained now. Priscilla avoided Edgar's gaze she knew was on her. It wasn't in the deal for Alessandra to leave her alone with Edgar.
Thank you.
Priscilla's eyes widened, and without thinking, she looked at Edgar.
Did you just thank me?
She asked, not believing she heard him right. Maybe the house had a ghost or something. Edgar looked around the room and replied,
You are the only person here. There is no one hiding in the walls.
It is strange for you to be thanking me.
A few minutes ago, you were accusing me of getting your wife sick, when it was you who put her in this position. By the way, I have not broken our deal of staying away from each other. Your wife pleaded with me to come here. It is hard to say no to her when she makes you feel guilty,
Priscilla said, once again avoiding Edgar's gaze. Silence fell upon the room once more, as mother and son were not used to being together, but not arguing with each other, or simply mentioning something the other disliked.
I am not over what you tried to do to Alfred, but I cannot deny you were helpful today, and Alessandra would like your advice in preparing for the baby. I don't see why, when you had servants to do everything for you. She has plenty of people here to help her.
What? Edgar shrugged his shoulders when she seemed offended by his words.
It is the truth.
None of them know what it is like to push a baby out of your body. There are still plenty of things I had to be aware of. I wasn't the best mother, but I won't sit and take your jabs,
said Priscilla. She was not desperate for Edgar's attention to sit through this.
I am not fond of it, but Alessandra would like you around, and as of right now, you do not seem like a threat. 1 day a week for an hour. I will give you entry to our home to visit Alessandra. If you wish to see your grandchild grow up, I recommend you do not ruin this rare second chance I am giving you. You must send a message a day in advance when you plan to visit. If you behave, I will increase your visits. That is all.
Edgar finished, having no more to say to his mother. Edgar was thankful there was someone to keep an eye on Alessandra when he was not home, but this didn't magically fix the strained relationship he had with his mother. They needed more time. Alessandra wanted his mother here, and during this time, he planned to give Alessandra all that she wanted to please her. Priscilla was surprised to hear Edgar was inviting her to visit the home.
I understand. I must go now. There is no point in me staying here when she is going to rest. You might know by now, but that woman is in town, and she is looking for your father. She tried speaking to Alessandra, and I am sure she will do it again. It was...
Priscilla started, but she was reluctant to say it was good to see Edgar.
Goodbye,
she said in the end.
They got the plates wrong. Are they serious? Be careful with those dresses!
All of you are giving me a headache, Kate sighed, touching her head to calm her anger. The servants seemed hell-bent on ruining her dresses. 4 weeks after her engagement, Kate went straight into planning her wedding, and now was the time to start moving all that she owned into Simon's home. It was a painful process for Kate, as the servants kept dropping her belongings. She would prefer if James was present to lead Simon's servants. Take dresses to the closet and everything else to the empty bedroom for now. Kate repeated the same order for the 3rd time. Kate? Simon called to her from the stairs. He pushed himself against the wall to avoid getting squeezed by servants walking with a big box full of who knows what.
Wasn't today supposed to be a light move-in? It seems like you packed everything. Do you still have clothes at your mother's house? Kate's face lit up now that Simon was present.
You underestimate how many clothes I have. I will need to give away some of the ones I have now to make room for new ones. I should send them to the church.
That is an excellent idea. I remember you were giving away some a long time ago, said Simon. Kate could only nod her head, as the time Simon was referring to was when she was actually planning on selling her clothes so she could buy more.
I'd like to use this time to make others as happy as I am. I'm sorry if the noise interrupted you. This would have been quicker if you let me bring servants from my mother's home to help. I don't see why they could not come.
I am not used to people that I am not familiar with coming in and out of this house, and there are more than enough servants here. The noise did not bother me. I enjoy the loud noise since it blocks out everything. Simon smiled. Kate did not believe him.
You say that now? But I feel like you will get angry with me about this later. That is why I suggested we go out while the servants bring in my things. We should see if the plates I wanted are ready, and there are so many more wedding details I want to show you. I don't want to prepare anything you would not enjoy.
I trust your judgment, Kate. I am sure whatever you have planned will be wonderful, Simon replied, not the slightest bit interested in wedding details. He did not care for the wedding in general. Kate, on the other hand, enjoyed that Simon was going along with what she wanted and was paying for all of it. He had already annoyed her by asking for a spring wedding, but then decided on when there would be less snow than there was now. Simon would not change his mind about it, so Kate had to wait. It was annoying, considering many of the young ladies who were proposed to at the ball were either already married or their weddings were soon, while Kate had to wait one more week. She wanted to be married now and be called Marchioness. It was frustrating that Grace had somehow managed to get proposed to and was boasting about her upcoming wedding. Kate wanted to silence everyone by showing off the grand wedding she was planning.
Simon!
Kate pretended to fix his shirt.
Can I start changing up the house to my liking? It is wonderful as it is now, but there are a few things I would like to add to show that a lady now lives here. This house screams bachelor.
Simon looked at another stack of dresses coming into his home. Aren't the dresses enough to show that a lady is here? Unless the town will assume I am trying them on, he joked.
That is not funny.
Kate playfully tapped his chest.
You cannot be like that guard.
I still cannot forget how shocking it was to learn the captain of the town guards has been seeing a man. It was bold of Emma to expose him. Lockwood received a big wave of the news 1 week ago when Emma exposed her fiancé Oliver for being with a man.
Now we all know why he never accepted her love.
How she still shows her face is beyond me. It creeps me out to think she might have kissed a man who rolled around in bed with another man. Disgusting. Kate's skin tingled now that she thought about it. Don't joke around about wearing dresses even when it is in our home. I don't want your name to be sullied. I love you too much to let anyone ruin you. Simon held Kate's hand and touched the ring on her finger with his thumb. No one can ruin me, he replied.
He didn't say it back,
Kate realized. It wasn't the first or second time he ignored her when she said she loved him. It bothered her, but at the same time, Kate also did not love Simon. She only said it because it would fit the moment. Kate liked to believe he was someone who didn't like having to repeat it all the time. Simon would not be marrying her if he did not love her. Kate forced a smile to not let it show that it bothered her. Of course no one can ruin you. Who would be so foolish to go up against a Marquess like yourself? If there is such a fool, I will deal with them for you, she said. Is that so? Then I have a few people I would love for you to take care of, Simon joked. After the wedding, I will get rid of them for you. Right now, I am swamped with looking over this wedding. The invitations have been sent out to the relatives you care for. It is unfortunate that I never met your parents and that you could not ask for my hand in marriage from my father. I would like to go to your parents' graves to introduce myself before we're married. And you should visit my father. I want your parents to know about me. They do, Simon responded, but had to explain himself further when Kate seemed confused. You don't need to go to their graves to speak with them. They are all around us now. My parents are present in this room and have known about you long before I proposed to you. I frequently speak to them and have told them about you, how perfect you are. He tapped her nose. You are right. My father's soul must be with us now. Still, we should go to the graves to put down fresh flowers. Kate stuck to her plan. Simon fought the urge to let his annoyance show. He had no interest in visiting empty graves. Kate? The sound of Katrina's voice annoyed him even more. The mother and daughter put on a good show, but he was tired of Katrina's constant visits, as though Kate were a child she needed to look after. Mother, why didn't you tell me you were going to visit us? Did the two of you plan this? I could use your help, Kate said, feeling relieved now that her mother was present. We did not, Simon replied, as Katrina's presence ticked him off. The former Baroness required a hobby to pass her time instead of seeking out Kate. Simon had too many secrets for Katrina to be showing up unannounced. He disliked how Kate hung on to her mother's every word instead of only his. To completely control Kate, he needed to cut her mother loose. I was in town buying a few things and thought I would pay a visit on my way back home. I hope I am not intruding, Katrina said, specifically to Simon. Contrary to his thoughts, Simon replied, You're not. You are always welcome here. You will be my mother-in-law in 1 week. Katrina entered the house and touched Simon's arm. I hope you can one day think of me as your mother. I already do, Simon answered. He had the same hate for Katrina as he did for his mother. He started to picture Katrina's lifeless body sitting at his table to join his parents. He could even dig up Desmond's body to make the collection complete. See? I told you he did. Simon and I were talking about the wedding for a bit and all the clothes I brought to be put in our closet. The workers have finished expanding the closet, but I will have my clothes put inside tomorrow. The task for today is to get everything inside our home. I'm taking a break to start thinking of how I will add my touch to this house. Kate looked around at the boring decor. Slow down, Kate. Give Simon time to get used to all the changes. The two of you have a long life ahead of you. You don't need to rush moving in and decorating the house all in one day. I bought something for the two of you to snack on, as I am sure you are busy preparing for your life together and have not eaten." Katrina handed Simon and Kate a bag each. They were filled with warm pastries for the two to enjoy.
"Thank you, Mother."
Kate happily accepted the food. She had not eaten since breakfast, as she was too busy dealing with moving in. Leave it to her mother to know what she wanted.
"Come, take a seat with us. I can have the butler get something for all of us to drink."
I would love to sit with the two of you right now, but there is something I must take care of now so I can spend more time with Kate later, Simon said, forcing an apologetic expression. He'd had years of practice to fake what he was feeling, just like Kate and Katrina.
"I thought you were not going to be busy today. Isn't that why we picked today for me to start moving in?"
Kate asked, disliking the fact he was leaving now that her mother was here. They should at least sit together before he disappeared to his study. Katrina touched Kate's shoulder to stop her from pushing the matter. "It is all right, Kate. He is trying to do his work so he can spend time with you. I will keep her company while you work, Simon. Don't mind us. I will try to finish in time to join the two of you before you leave. If you don't have anything to do today, you can return later to join us for dinner. Kate can return home with you after dinner," Simon proposed. It took all the strength that he had to let the suggestion leave his lips. "I will consider it a wedding gift, for I rip her away from her daughter," he thought. Kate had a better idea.
"Why should she go home in the first place? She should stay here until dinner to help me organize my things and to look at what I'm planning for the wedding. Please tell me that you have nothing to do at home now, Mother,"
Kate whined, pleading with her mother to stay. Katrina had to deal with the young women involved in the business she shared with Randall in an hour, but Kate would always come first. Randall should have no issue helping the girls reach the men they were meant to target. Very well. Katrina decided to stay. "I will try to make your life easier and help with whatever you need, Kate. But I will not be able to join the two of you for dinner. I will return to pick up Kate. Perhaps another day. I need to get to work now. See you soon, Kate." Simon kissed her forehead. He had to give Katrina credit for knowing when her presence was not needed and turning down the offer for dinner. Maybe he was too hard on her, though he disliked her presence in his home. Once he got married to Kate, her visits should decrease.
"Come with me."
Kate hooked her arm with her mother's and led her to the drawing room. She listened to Simon's footsteps as he went back upstairs.
"I'm happy you're here. Maybe you can convince him to get rid of some of the servants he has. They hardly listen to me. But Simon does not want to get rid of them because he says their loyalty is unmatched, and I will see it soon."
That is normal, Kate. When your father first took me to his home, the servants did not listen to my orders. They always looked to him to confirm what I wanted to be done. They will listen to you when you are officially Simon's wife. I would have loved to be in your position when I did not need to weed out servants who were loyal to his first wife, said Katrina, as Kate had it easy.
It is still frustrating. He is not a pushover like before. Now that we are engaged, he doesn't want to just say yes to the things I want. This house should already be decorated to my liking. So annoying.
Kate stomped her feet. Do not be so loud, Kate. Katrina looked behind them. The servants would love to run and tell Simon what Kate said. Men like to act like leaders when they are getting married. They like to feel in control.
Give it some time for him to agree with what you want, but don't act spoiled.
Whose fault is it that I'm spoiled?
Kate muttered, dramatically sitting down on a chair.
I am already tired, but I am not a wife yet. I need to hire a head maid to take some of my duties off my shoulders.
She closed her eyes to rest.
Katrina was pleased to see how much Kate had grown in such a short period.
You will get used to it. You must, before the two of you have children, Kate, Katrina whispered as she sat down beside Kate. Have you found out what is in that room yet? She pointed to a locked door in the drawing room.
No, Mother. He did not want to tell me what was in there, and he made me promise not to try going inside. It is probably his private space where he could not be bothered. I intend to get one for myself. You and Father also had your own spaces that you did not want anyone to enter, Kate replied.
Still, Katrina couldn't help her curiosity. What could a man like Simon have in a locked room no one could enter? Do not fall asleep yet. Tell me about the wedding plans. While mother and daughter got lost in their conversation, Simon stood at the bottom of the stairs, listening to every word. The servants quietly walked by him to not alert the women of his presence. They did not want to get in the way of Simon's game.
For the last time, I'm feeling fine. I feel no different than what I felt this morning. I don't feel like vomiting. However, I am feeling annoyed, Alessandra said, looking at Edgar, who sat on the edge of their bed. Alessandra tried to rest after taking medicine given to her by the doctor, but the sound of someone constantly coming in and out of the room got on her nerves. It was even more irritating when she heard someone walking around the bed and fixing the blanket, which did not need to be fixed. Alessandra appreciated the concern, but she felt no different from 10 minutes ago when it was Alfred who asked her how she was feeling. She could not help thinking about how many days she would have to go through this. Alessandra could look at the clock and predict when someone else would come to check on her. Why is there so much noise outside? Alessandra asked, trying to sit up, but Edgar pushed her back down on the bed. After Alfred left, there was a constant loud noise like someone was banging something.
Alfred and the servants are cleaning at the moment,
Edgar replied, somewhat telling the truth. Excitement filled the house as everyone rushed to prepare for children who had months to go before they made their grand entrance into this world. You're lying. Alessandra saw right through him. I'm not a delicate flower, Edgar. I walked around on my own this morning and I was pregnant then. All of you are up to something.
We didn't know you were pregnant this morning. A few things are changing up downstairs. We've picked out a room to use when it becomes troublesome for you to walk up the stairs. We need you to start working on putting everything you'll need in there now. To stop Alfred from bothering you, I let him clear out a room on this floor to turn into the baby's room. That is the noise you are hearing,
Edgar explained. Edgar underestimated the fact that Alfred would have servants pulling furniture out of the room today. So, what do I need to get you to stop bothering me? Alessandra joked.
Nothing. You are stuck with me until those little things crawl out of you,
Edgar replied. Alessandra opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. She didn't know whether to address him being glued to her or the fact he said their baby would crawl out of her. Instead, she chose to enjoy Edgar's excitement to become a father. he changed from only wanting an heir to wanting a house full of children. She had no plans of going through this many times, but she still enjoyed seeing him excited. So, have you taken over Sally's job? I told her to take a break since I wanted to rest, but here you are tending to me. You can go back to what you were doing before I came home and bring Sally back. Nothing will happen in our home if you take your eyes off of me, Edgar. I would like some water. Alessandra used this as a last resort to send him away.
We have a house full of servants. I only need to open the door and tell one to bring water,
Edgar replied, showing how he could ruin her plan, but he knew he had pestered her enough.
I will still be at home if you need me.
He sat up from the bed. He had to check if Alfred was destroying his home. I know you would not be leaving home today. Alessandra smiled. There could be a war happening outside their gates, and Edgar would not bat an eye today. Can you send a letter to Ruth to apologize for my sudden departure from her party? Your mother and I left in a hurry, so I did not get to tell Lady Ruth goodbye. You don't have to reveal that I'm pregnant. I don't need anyone else bothering me. We should only tell our friends.
I will send the letter as soon as I leave. Did anyone bother you at that party?
Edgar asked, only now remembering what his mother said about his father's old lover. I confirmed the Viscountess and I will never be friends. I knew there was something wrong with her the first time we met each other. I did meet the other woman, Cassidy. She seems to be looking for your father. Do you know where he is? Alessandra asked, as she had no idea where Edmund was. She only knew Priscilla was still in town because she continued to socialize. Well, there was no word from Edmund.
I am not his keeper. I don't follow up on where he goes. I will find you a female guard to join you at these parties you attend. Andre and Clyde will wait for you outside with Caleb.
Alessandra was curious if Cassidy tried to speak with Edgar. Have you spoken to her?
When I was young and my mother was away visiting my grandparents. She came to the home claiming to be a friend of my father and tried acting like she was my mother when she saw me. My father took her out of the house right after. That was how I found out what she looked like. I have not seen her again, even now with a divorce. Do not concern yourself with their drama,
Edgar said, fixing the bed where he previously sat. I won't. I only wanted to help get your mother out of that awkward run-in. I don't agree with her having to see someone your father loved during their marriage. It is not fair, and if I were in her position, I would lash out at everyone around me too, Alessandra replied. I hope she finds someone who can make her happy. Edgar didn't have anything more to say. This was all his parents' business, which he wanted no part in. He didn't need his father's problems showing up at his gates or approaching Alessandra. Instead of running away to wherever he was now, Edmund should be here to tell that woman whether or not he wanted to be with her so she could stop going to people who did not care for her.
Excuse me.
Edgar left to find Sally.
Edgar,
Reed said when Edgar stepped out of the room. For 3 weeks he was gone to carry out an important task Edgar gave him. He returned with good news, or maybe this might be bad news.
my group and I returned to Lockwood a while ago. I heard your news from Caleb. Congratulations on the baby. Thank you.
Edgar closed the door behind him so Alessandra could not hear their conversation.
Did you find anything? The information we received was right this time. We followed the lead and found her,
Reed said, handing Edgar papers with the information they gathered when they watched their target.
We found Melanie Barrett. Well, she is no longer a Barrett. She was so hard to find because she settled down in a small town where there is no court. She married a scholar.
Edgar flipped through the pages of what Reed collected from watching Melanie and her new family.
Shit,
he cursed. Life had a habit of ruining good days. During the few weeks he was away, Reed thought Edgar had sent him on a wild chase for someone no longer in this world. Each lead they had about Melanie ended up leading him to nowhere. He went around showing a portrait of Melanie, and by some luck, there were a few people who recognized her. With each new person who recognized her, Reed and the men who traveled with him had to stop and try mapping out the order of towns Melanie had traveled to, so they could figure out where she ended up. Reed was ready to give up and have someone else assigned to this job, until there was someone who pointed them to a small town, saying the woman in the portrait looked like a younger version of the scholar's wife. Reed was surprised when he encountered a woman with similar features to Alessandra. They tried to map out what they gathered from other towns again, and it made sense for Melanie to pass through the small town.
will you tell the Duchess?
Reed asked, since Alessandra had stated many times that she was not interested in seeing her mother again.
Would you tell your pregnant wife, who is not supposed to be stressed out, that her missing mother was found?
Edgar asked. No, Reed honestly answered. Alessandra didn't have a good record when it came to her family members. They personally did not know what this Melanie was like. She could be just as bad as Desmond. Reed didn't have a good opinion of a woman who abandoned her daughter and started another family. There was no good excuse.
Will you wait until the baby is born to tell her? Your wife won't be happy if you do not tell her now.
Alessandra was not made aware of their search for her mother. Edgar did not want to wait for the court to hunt down Melanie when he had the power to do it himself. He wanted to allow Alessandra to speak with her mother, to have the chance to either move on or welcome the woman back into her life. Each time she received letters from Wilma, Alessandra would mention her mother and then go on to say she did not care. Edgar was in a rough predicament. To tell Alessandra now and disrupt her peace, or to hold on to this information until a better date and risk Alessandra being upset with him.
How far away from Lockwood is she?
He asked.
It took me 3 days to get back to Lockwood, but that includes the stops I made to eat or rest. You can cut that down to 2 days. Do you want me to bring her here?
Reed asked.
No.
Edgar shook his head. He considered traveling to see for himself what Melanie was like before informing Alessandra about her mother. However, he could not get up and leave his pregnant wife.
Come to my study,
he said, wanting to leave in case Alessandra would come to the door.
In my opinion, this is one of those times when you can hide something from her until the right time. She will be angry, but it'll not last long. Alessandra will understand you were looking out for her. I asked around the town, and it seems she is well loved alongside her husband. Nothing bad was said, no drama since they settled down there, and she helps around the town.
Reed relayed what he knew. Right now, Melanie seemed like a caring woman to others. Reed stepped to the side as maids passed by him with chairs that looked like they came from a bedroom. He started to wonder if he should have waited a bit more before coming back. He would hate to be asked to move furniture when all he wanted to do after a long trip was sleep. But first, he had some unfinished business with a young lady who kept avoiding him. Reed followed Edgar inside his study for privacy and closed the door behind them.
They have 3 children.
Edgar read from the first paper.
The oldest child is from her husband's previous relationship. The 2 young girls are their own.
Reed answered.
She's raising 2 girls and a boy with him. Wonderful,
Edgar sarcastically added. Someone needed to have a lot of audacity to raise a child belonging to someone else and create new children while forgetting their firstborn.
I want you to send everything you found to Mark. Have the court be the one to inform her of what happened to the family she left behind, and let them bring her back to Lockwood. Tell the men you returned with not to speak of this. I don't want Alessandra learning about her mother just yet,
Edgar said, picking up a sheet of paper to write a letter to Wilma. It was best to inform her of her daughter's whereabouts now, when her husband was on his last days. She should have the chance to reach out to her daughter again before he passed away.
Understood,
Reed answered. He gathered the papers to take to the court.
I'm sorry to bring this up on a good day when you're meant to be celebrating. My day isn't ruined. This mostly concerns Alessandra. After you visit the court, send a message to Tobias that I want to speak with him. He's been awfully quiet,
Edgar said, finding it odd how little Tobias was reaching out to him.
Hazel must be pregnant. There is nothing else in this world to keep him so silent. If the queen is pregnant, your children might have close birthdays like you and the king. If your children have opposite genders, Tobias will arrange for a marriage over my fucking dead body.
Edgar was immediately against it. Not because it was Tobias's child, but due to the fact that he hated being forcefully paired up with anyone, and life in the palace was not something he wanted any of his children to experience. He had the power to protect them, but seeing what Hazel went through was enough convincing to keep them away. Edgar wouldn't be against sending them to play with the prince or princess, as he did the same in his childhood, but marriage was out of the question.
Luckily for you, by the time your children are of age to marry, guns will be allowed in the kingdom. I can hardly wait to see you stressing over the men who will want to court your daughters if you have any.
Reed chuckled. Edgar slowly looked up at Reed. He wasn't fond of Reed finding amusement in his future problems.
You mean like how Eleanor is being courted by a man her aunt wants her to marry?
He retorted, knowing it would hurt Reed since he took a liking to his friend's wife.
That was low, even for you. With a child on the way, shouldn't you learn to be nice?
Reed asked. They say babies have a habit of changing people, so Reed wanted Edgar's change to hurry up and happen already.
I am always nice,
Edgar replied.
I am nice to hide how irritating it is for you and your brother to keep going after Alessandra's friend and maid. I am nice to allow you to sleep when you should be working like everyone else. Your definition of nice and mine are different. You should be annoyed with Caleb, not me. He is the one planning a fake wedding since Sally's parents still think the two are getting married. I am waiting for our mother to find out about it. She will lose her mind for not being informed about a wedding.
Reed smiled. The one person they feared was their mother. She would change from a sweet woman to a monster in a matter of seconds the moment she learned of Caleb's fake predicament.
You talk of me not being nice, but you always look to get your brother in trouble. Twins should have a bit of loyalty to each other. I am going to replace the two of you as Alessandra's guards soon. Your interests lie elsewhere these days,
Edgar said. He was not going to take any risk during her pregnancy. Edgar was all for her going to these gatherings with other women before, but now he wanted to limit her going out. It was no longer just Alessandra who needed to be protected.
That is unnecessary. We would never let anything happen to the Duchess while we are guarding her,
Reed replied, disliking his job going to someone else. It would make him appear incompetent if he could not watch Alessandra and keep her safe.
I recall you off in a hallway kissing her friend when the only reason you were in the palace was to watch Alessandra. Why Eleanor, of all people? Why couldn't you have found someone else to bother that has nothing to do with Alessandra?
Edgar asked, curious if they were purposely doing it to annoy him.
It just happened without thinking. It is nothing serious to affect my job of protecting your wife. The only reason I was with Eleanor was because of your wife. She sent me to guard your friend. You did not tell my brother about this, did ya?
Reed eyed Edgar with suspicion. Caleb was not good at keeping secrets. Secrets that belonged to Reed. So the last person Reed would like to know about his kiss with Eleanor was Caleb.
I have no plans of getting involved in your personal business that will come back to bite you in the ass. Unless this business puts my family in danger, that is. Why are you still standing here? You should be delivering my message to Mark and Tobias, then running off to see if Eleanor is getting married or not. Go on.
Edgar shooed Reed away.
I hope you are cursed with daughters who will make your life hell,
Reed said, and then walked away. Contrary to what Reed thought, Edgar wouldn't mind if he had daughters. He could spoil them, and there was always his trusted gun to get rid of any fool looking to court them.
Sally!
Edgar stood as he remembered he was supposed to be getting Sally for Alessandra along with water. The Collins household continued to be in disarray, thanks to Alfred clearing out a room for the child he longed to care for. Soon, evening fell on Lockwood and a grand visitor was at their door.
Edgar!
Tobias yelled from the door as he walked in. He had much to celebrate, as this was the first time in a while that Edgar sent for him.
You called me here, but did not wait at the door for me?
Edgar shut the book he was reading and walked to the front door from the drawing room.
Do you plan to wake up anyone who is sleeping? I did not call for you. I said I wanted to talk with you. We were supposed to arrange... Stop lying to yourself, Edgar. You know when you say you want to speak to me, I always come to your home. What did you want to talk about? Did you miss my presence lately?
Tobias asked, hoping it was that. It was about time Edgar started missing when he was not around. Tobias limited his time out of the palace a week after the ball, once he received good news.
Whenever you are not leaving the palace frequently, it means you have found yourself in trouble that I need to help you out of. Why have you been silent? I have not heard of you leaving the palace, nor has there been any news from the palace. What trouble have you found yourself in?
Edgar asked. Tobias placed his hands on his hips and smiled.
Well, we've been keeping this on the down low, but since my absence bothers you, you will be the first friend to know. Hazel is pregnant. The kingdom will soon be able to celebrate the arrival of a prince or princess. Just in time, too, since those fools started to bring in women for me to pick one to be my mistress. Congratulations.
Edgar patted Tobias's back. After everything he went through with Hazel and her tea, there was nothing funny Edgar could say now.
Thank you. Hazel wants me to tell Alessandra the good news. Where is she, and why weren't you hovering around her? Marriage problems?
Tobias joked.
No. I've been kicked out of our bedroom for bothering her or something. Pregnancy has made her a bit moody already. I'll be lucky if I don't have to sleep in another bedroom tonight. That can't happen,
Edgar said, and started to think of a way to get back on her good side.
You should see how Hazel... Wait, what the fuck?
Tobias exclaimed, as it now dawned on him what Edgar said.
Pregnant? The two of you are having a child. What the hell?
Edgar narrowed his eyes at Tobias's reaction.
Shouldn't there be a congratulation right now, just as I gave to you? You seriously did not think you were the only one looking forward to a child, right? No, you told me about your plans to have a child, but this was supposed to be my time to shine. Along with Hazel, of course.
Tobias added, since she had an important role in all of this. Edgar felt a sense of déjà vu listening to Tobias speak.
I am starting to see what is wrong with me,
he muttered. Tobias was confused by Edgar's words.
What? There's nothing wrong with you. I mean, you could learn not to have this I don't care attitude that makes me want to strangle you sometimes, but then I understand your childhood, so I let it go. I like to think that before Alessandra and Alfred, I was the light in your life. I knew you before they did, since we knew each other as babies.
Tobias saw a bright side to Edgar having a child now.
Congratulations on your child, Edgar. It is good that you are having a baby at the same time as me. I want our children to be as close as our fathers were, and as close as we are. I'm starting to think that if our children are not getting married.
Edgar cut in before this ridiculous plan could be said again.
Come and have a drink with me before you go back. I have a feeling Hazel kicked you out of her bedroom. She sure did. I made the mistake of saying how big her stomach will get, said Tobias.
Goodbye. I will come again tomorrow after I visit the dressmaker for my wedding dress. I wish I could show it to you now, but we can wait a few more days. Get some rest.
Kate tiptoed to kiss Simon's cheek. After a long, eventful day, it was time for her to return home with her mother. This didn't make Kate happy, as she was ready to start living here with Simon, but she only had to hold out for a few more days.
I will take care of things here. You should focus on your wedding dress tomorrow,
Simon said, in hopes she would stay away from his home for one day. There was much he needed to get rid of, and so much more he needed to prepare for Kate to stay with him forever. Kate was constantly at his home, which stopped him from carrying out his plans. Only when they were married and she was living here did he plan to show her what his world was truly like. He wanted to test her and see if she could continue her act. She'd better if she wanted to live. He was not going through the trouble of marrying Kate just for her to disappoint him. She would anger him more than the others if she failed him.
Trying to get rid of me already?
Kate joked.
I suppose we have seen each other too much these past few days. I should give you some space, as my mother said, get used to the big change. I won't keep you standing here, and my mother must be annoyed with me for keeping her waiting in the carriage. So, goodbye, Simon. I cannot wait to see you again.
Kate bid goodbye before walking away. Her smile fell when her back was turned to Simon. The corners of her mouth hurt from constantly forcing herself to smile around him. The future she wanted being so close in her hands was what kept her going with her act of loving Simon. She would learn to love him one day. She would put up with his boring personality and fall for something about him. The bright side was his kindness. It made it easy for her to get along with him. Simon waved as Kate got into the carriage, and Katrina looked out at him. Unlike Kate, Simon's smile did not hurt. He had gotten used to the persona he showed to everyone.
About time.
he muttered when their carriage started to leave his home. Having someone inside his home all day was annoying, but Kate had saved him once. The king started to request houses for everyone in Lockwood to be searched for any clues for the missing girls. Kate was present when the guards came and stated that she noticed nothing odd here when they started to look around. Simon closed the front door, and instead of going to rest, he had someone he wanted to speak with. He had not fully decided if he wanted to keep or discard her to rattle the town. The game he played was starting to become boring since no one pointed fingers at him. He was almost tempted to reveal himself and make the game a chase, running away from the guards.
"He's disappointing,"
Simon whispered, referring to Edgar. He thought the man whose skills everyone boasted about would have figured something out by now. This could not be the same Edgar that Simon wanted to befriend as a child. The Edgar who had issues with his parents, just like Simon. They were the same in Simon's eyes, which was why it only made sense for Edgar to be the one trying to clean up the mess Simon was creating. They were connected to the point they would be married to sisters. This was another benefit of marrying Kate, as she tied him to Edgar's wife regardless of their bad relationship. Simon was curious to know what happened between Kate and Alessandra when Alessandra could not leave their father's home. It seemed like Kate was not good to her sister, and judging from what she heard when the women gathered at the ball, Kate might be the reason Alessandra had to wear a mask. Perhaps Kate was just like him. Simon exited the door near the kitchen and walked out to the area with tall trees, as always. The snow would soon be gone, which meant he had to cover the opening of his secret room with something else. Simon opened the secret door and jumped down inside, quickly finding a torch. "Bella," he called to the young actress, who should consider herself lucky for being alive when all her peers were dead. "I'm sorry I could not come to visit you as of late. I hope you are not angry with me," Simon said, spotting the light in the corner where Bella liked to curl up. "Did you enjoy the food the servants brought you? I heard you were a good girl and did not plead to be released, unlike this one." Simon kicked Lila's lifeless body. Her body reeked as it had started to decompose in this very room long ago. The smell did not bother Simon, but Bella was tortured by it. She did not understand why Simon had not sent out this body as he did with the others. Why was he keeping this one? "I am not angry with you," Bella answered before Simon could get angry with her. She came too far to die from upsetting him when she knew what he was like. Bella was holding on to hope that since she was the one to survive this long, she would get out of here. "Thank you for the food." "Good girl. I might not be able to come to feed you for a little while since I am getting married," Simon said. Bella's eyes widened at the news of Simon getting married. The poor, unfortunate girl who was getting married to him did not know the kind of monster he was. Whoever was marrying Simon might end up with her in this darkness. Or maybe Simon would continue his madness without his wife ever finding out. "Congratulations on your wedding," Bella clapped for him. "I haven't tossed out this body yet since it's a wedding gift for my bride. This one was no fun." Simon walked around Lila's body. "Her parents took so long to report her as if they didn't care. No point in giving her back if they aren't desperately looking for her. She would still be alive if she minded her business. I was aiming for her friend, and she ruined it. If you ask nicely, I can have her body placed somewhere else. Maybe cleaned and placed with my parents.
I am thinking of digging up my father-in-law, Desmond Barrett.
He's marrying a Barrett? Kate?
Bella wondered. She wouldn't count on Kate to help her out of there. Bella, I enjoy your company. You understand me well and know how to avoid annoying me, but I still can't help thinking this should be the end of the road for us. You must want to bring your mother some peace, Simon said.
No.
Bella shook her head.
I wish to stay here with you.
If not Kate, I would have married you. It's a shame where you ended up. You would have made an excellent actress. I can see myself going to plays to watch you, but it is better to have you here alone. Perhaps I will keep you until you bore me. You are like a pet I can use to escape the outside world. My mother would have loved you, Simon said, looking back on his childhood. She always spoke of wanting a daughter. You are the perfect daughter to listen to her. Should we pretend to be siblings? Simon asked, looking down at Bella with excitement. We can speak about how cruel our mother was, how she would punish us if we did not answer her questions right, or if we missed a step in our dance lessons, how we both wanted to crush her throat and watch the life leave her body. Father might have liked you, and you would have felt suffocated. While I killed our mother, you would be the one to kill him. We would make quite the duo in killing our parents, and then ruining this town after. You would all understand me if you knew what I endured. Behind my parents' smiles were two evil people who endlessly tortured their child when he messed up. I can still feel the wood she once beat me with for not being as smart as she wanted. Simon touched his arm. Bella didn't care to understand Simon. He could tell her about his sad childhood over and over again, but it would not justify the things he did now. Simon had no right to punish others for what his parents did. His parents were already dead, so he should move on. There was so much Bella wanted to scream at Simon, but to keep herself alive, she kept her mouth shut and pretended to feel sorry for him. Do you know what upsets me the most? When people complain about their parents over the smallest things. They have nothing to complain about like I do. I went to sleep with my arms sore from the bruises my mother made from hitting me each time I messed up reciting what she wanted me to tell the guests, so I seemed smart and they could show me off. Your problems are nothing compared to mine, said Simon. It was irritating to hear others complain about their parents not buying them a toy or a dress when there were others facing abuse. Simon stooped down to Bella's level and taunted her, putting the torch close to her as if he wanted to burn her. My parents forced me to be perfect, and it worked. No one could ever predict what I am thinking because all they see is a warm smile from a marquess who keeps out of trouble. Unfortunately, I am my parents' child, as I have fallen in love with seeing others put on a show. I can't help it if my punishments are a bit more severe. There are so many young ladies in town to use, so why keep them alive? Simon stood up and placed the torch over Bella. Since you are so well behaved, I will give you some light tonight. No need to thank me. I will introduce you to my bride soon. If she gets jealous you are here, I might have to eliminate you. Then again, watching the two of you compete for my love would be fun. Maybe I should give you another chance to see if you are rid of your flaws. If you are better than Kate, I will switch your places. No, we can't do that.
Simon realized why this plan would fail.
You're supposed to be acting like my sister.
Bella felt her hope disappear after Simon changed his mind. If she could get out of this place and walk around his home, even if she was being watched by the servants who brought her food, she could plot a better escape.
You look disappointed.
Simon smiled.
I like that. As another treat, how about I ask how your mother is doing? The poor woman fainted the last time I sent out a body. Do you truly believe people can die from missing someone too much? We should test it out.
Last time he said she didn't care about me, Bella thought. She knew that was a lie, but she believed what Simon said about her mother fainting. She needed to get out of there soon before her mother harmed herself.
I wish I could stay with you longer, but there is a wedding I need to prepare for. Did you picture yourself getting married? I can buy you a wedding dress so you can walk around here to play pretend. Heaven knows you will never have the real thing. Unless I find some man I detest and bring him down here to wed you. There is a man named Kyle who I wouldn't mind getting rid of. I have much to think of,
Simon said, giving Bella one last look before leaving the room. Lila's body was finally starting to get to him. Bella listened quietly to Simon climbing the ladder to leave the room. She listened closely for the click after he locked the door he used to come inside. Bella remained seated for a few minutes, and Simon would return immediately to see what she was doing when he left. Bella had waited long enough and moved away from the corner she sat in each time Simon visited her. She scrunched up her nose to block out the horrible smell of Lila's body that she could taste on her tongue from how strong it had gotten, thanks to the closed-up room. She tried not to vomit to make her small space a mess. Bella pulled away at the wood on the walls. She used to pick at it out of boredom, until one day, she accidentally lifted a piece off the wall. She continued to try removing the wood carefully so Simon would not notice. Bella had to stop each time Simon brought in a new victim, as Bella did not trust anyone but herself. The other girls were too loud, and would no doubt accidentally give away what she was doing to save themselves. 2 people would make this work, but Bella would not take the risk. Bella sat in this corner each time Simon or a servant came inside, to hide if there was anything off about the wall. Come on! She quickly pulled all the board she had pulled away at for numerous weeks. Bella carefully placed them on the floor to not damage them, and took a deep breath when she found the hole she created. She had a hard task of figuring out where to put the dirt from her hole, but she managed to hide it all over the room. Her fingers ached from digging into the dirt behind the walls. With only her fingers and a spoon, she slipped away. But she continued to make a hole the perfect size for her to slip through, so there wouldn't be too much dirt for her to have to hide in the room. It didn't matter where it would take her, as long as she could leave this room. Bella took the spoon from where she hid it in the hole and started digging again. I am getting out of here alive, she said, as motivation to ignore the pain and focus on digging.
You're almost there, Kate. I am so proud of you,
Katrina said as she watched Kate, who was sitting on the other side of the carriage. Kate had scored bigger than Katrina had. There was nothing more satisfying than seeing her daughter having an easy life. It was what Katrina worked so hard to achieve.
The house is turning out nice. I will give the two of you some money so you can continue to change it up to your liking.
There's no need for that, Mother. Simon tells me to spend what I want, but I am mindful not to seem like I will waste his money in the future. You should save the money you want to give us,
Kate replied, looking away from the window at her mother. Katrina smiled as Kate was changing quickly, perhaps too quickly. Katrina had been preparing Kate for this very moment for years, but now that the time had come, she did not want her only child to leave her side. As hard as it would be to let go of Kate, Katrina could not hold Kate back. Kate's marriage to Simon would continue pushing Katrina closer to the status she wanted her family to have, unlike the days when she worked in the red light district and had nothing to her name.
Why are you smiling at me, Mother? You have not replied to me,
said Kate. I am just thinking about how close you are to having everything I always envisioned you having. I dreamed of you having a better life than I grew up with. I want the best for you, Kate. Seeing you getting ready to be married and be without me is just making me sad. It will be just me when you are gone, Katrina said, holding back her tears.
That is why I said you can look to remarry. I won't mind if you find someone else to share your days with. Father has been gone for a long time, so no one can talk about you finding new love by now. You do not have to get married right away, and it is not like I will not visit you often. Who else will I ask for advice? When we have children, you are the only grandparent they will have, so they will regularly visit you. Nothing will change other than the fact I am not living there,
Kate assured her mother. Kate also thought of life without her mother in arm's reach. They were always together, and her father's death brought them even closer. It was weird to think of not seeing her mother daily. I don't need another man unless he is a king. I will try to enjoy the peace in the house now, until you have children to bother me, Katrina said, looking forward to raising her grandchildren.
I will try to have one quickly so I can send it to your home. Mother, I was thinking of hosting a gathering before our wedding and inviting some of my peers. Grace already did one. You can get all sorts of gifts, but Simon does not want too many people in our home. He's not fond of visitors.
Kate frowned. It was the one thing that ticked her off about Simon. She loved the attention, but Simon hated it. He lived a quiet life before you, Kate. Some people prefer not to let anyone in their homes. Try suggesting somewhere else for this party and see what he says. We can do it at my home, but there will be so much to plan when we already plan a wedding. I think you should leave this party out and stop trying to compete with Grace. She is not on your level, Katrina replied. Grace came from a good family, but her looks did not resemble Kate's.
I know she is not, but I get tired of her boasting about the things she does. I want to do everything better than her. I wish she were the one to disappear instead of Lila. Lila got ahead momentarily, but I could always put her back in her place. I don't believe that she is missing. I am sticking to the rumor that Lila got pregnant before her wedding, so she ran away. She'll eventually have to come back to Lockwood, and I cannot wait to see her.
Kate smiled, looking forward to the reunion where she would rub her marriage to Simon in Lila's face. Katrina wasn't in the mood to hear about Lila or Grace. I told you to stop thinking about the two of them and find more friends who suit you. I like the Viscountess for you. You said she has visited you often to see if you need help with the wedding, or advice as a new wife since she has only been married for 3 months. Stick with her.
I only speak with her because of her title. All she does is talk about the child in her stomach and ask about Alessandra. She's just using me to find out information about someone else. She's lucky to be Viscountess, or I would have sent her away. I want to surround myself with people who have titles and statuses. Let me.
Kate stood to open the carriage door for her mother when it parked in front of their home.
I will be like your maid these last few days we are together.
I must be blessed to have a future Marchioness opening doors for me, Katrina said as she exited the carriage. Her smile fell when the first person she saw waiting for them was Randall. I told him to stay away from my home, she thought. Katrina was secretly involved with his business and did not want Randall to come to her house like this. No one knew she was behind the success of his new business in the red light district. It would only take one person to be curious about how they knew each other to start looking into Randall and exposing her past. No matter how often she told Randall to stay away, he kept showing up like this to make her angry. He took joy in knowing her secrets and could expose her at any moment. Kate disliked seeing Randall at their door again. She noticed how her mother tensed up when he was around, but could not figure out why. He claimed to be an old family friend, but Kate did not recall her father speaking about Randall. She found it suspicious that Simon called Randall by name differently when he spoke of a family friend he met. Go in and do not speak to him, Katrina ordered Kate. The second reason she did not want Randall around was so he could not try putting his disgusting hands on Kate. Kate didn't need to be told to avoid Randall. Despite his clean appearance and clothes, which she knew were expensive, Kate wanted nothing to do with Randall. A Marchioness should not be around someone like him. Kate ignored Randall as she entered the home.
She has the same attitude as you. We had business plans today, Katrina. You know I have no one else with your skills to help me. We are supposed to be targeting a young lord to get one of our women married, but you blew me off. For what, exactly? Randall spoke softly despite his anger. Something came up. Can't you be a big boy and use your brain to figure certain things out? You were the one to get me to Desmond.
But you played the role of the woman he wanted well, Randall reminded her.
They would not have achieved all Katrina did if he had put any other woman in Katrina's place to go after a baron. Katrina took scamming to another level. He needed her to teach the young women what she knew. That's what desperation will do to you. When you don't want to go back to your lowly life, you find you could put on any grand show to trap anyone who can offer you a better life. I will write down more instructions for you, but you need to send me half of what I made from the young lady who is getting married. I helped put her in that position to marry a man who would inherit his father's wine business. Pay me first, Katrina said, as she would not let Randall get all the money.
I will have it in your hands by the end of the day,
Randall replied. He noticed something in the corner of his eye and saw that the butler had a habit of appearing when he was near Katrina.
Is he just doing his job? Or is he smitten? I hope you're not fucking your butler, Ida. I am a jealous man, so if I cannot have you, no one else can. I hate that he is always here with you. Get rid of him before I do,
Randall advised her, smiling at James to taunt him before he left to take care of business.